When children start school, their world expands. They want to learn. They ask a lot of questions. They're curious. They learn at school and also at home.
We are going to search S in your paper.
It is important to respect your child's desire to learn. Take the time to answer their questions. Explain that it is sometimes necessary to have limits and help them understand why.
Look, you are not allowed to scribble. What your teacher wrote a note. Don't scribble on your book.
Physical and emotional punishment don't help the child understand. They teach the child to fear the parent, but not to understand the true consequences of their actions. Help your child understand that problems have solutions. Show them how we can figure things out if we think instead of reacting on impulse.
Yeah, where we can jump. We can go to park and you can jump there. You want to do that? But no jumping on the couch.
Help them deal with frustrations. Explain that their actions can affect other people. From your actions towards them, they will learn how to deal with others.
You happy?
By the time your child reaches the age of 4 or 5, friends have become very, very important. They've also developed the ability to understand other feelings so that other people have different perspectives. Their cognitive capacity has increased significantly as well, so they're becoming very good problem solvers. Their ability to pay attention has increased significantly so that they can now stay focused on a task for a period of time, and they've started to form some really amazing memories. They can recall past experiences to actually inform what they do in various situations. But what's really exciting is that they are very, very curious. They will have lots of questions. They will want to understand what is going on around them. They're also really beginning to develop a sense of self as well as a sense of self-esteem. How do they feel about themselves? Which is going to be heavily influenced by their parent. For parents who have children at this age, you want to be actively involved in their learning, and you want to do that in a very collaborative, respectful way. You're not there to tell them that why don't they understand this concept or how come they don't get it. You're really there to participate and help them to build an understanding of those concepts and build that learning and those teachable moments into everyday routines with them. Often parents will say, well, it just seems like he always wants my attention. And I think it's really important for parents to understand that if that's what your child is telling you, probably he actually does need your attention. And I think the reality of life is that we're just not always able to give our children our attention all of the time. So in that instance, what you want to be able to do is say to your child, I hear that you need me to be there, but right now, for the next few minutes, this is what I need to be doing. When I'm done, though, I'm going to come and I'm going to see what you're up to. You may even find that you have to help your child figure out, you can't be with me for 10 minutes, Mom. What am I going to do for that 10 minutes? And you may have to help them figure out what that 10 minutes is going to look like. One of the most important things that we want to do during this period of development is to leave kids feeling confident and feeling good about themselves. It's a little bit of they feel like they can take on the world, but we really influence that quite significantly. So acknowledging your child's successes will be important. We can do that with verbal praise. Some families may choose and may feel it's necessary to use something like a sticker chart where the child gets to put a sticker on, on the day and the task that they've completed. I think it is important for parents to realize that, child's good behavior should not be dependent all the time on being rewarded either. So we want to be very specific. I really liked how you tidied up your room today. You did a good job when you were taking care of your baby brother while I was doing the dishes. That stuff is all very good stuff. We just don't want to be the helicopter parent who every time they breathe, we're saying, good job, you took a breath. We want to be careful about how we're using our verbal praise of children, but praise does not hurt kids. So what about the other side of this? What about taking away things that a child likes when they're not doing what we're told? And for me, I think what's important, again, is that we come back to having that conversation with the child before we get to that stage where we're threatening to take things away from them. That, you know, we sit down and we talk about why it is important that they do what they do, what we're asking them to do, and how can you help them to get through that task that needs to get done. So we're engaged in that conversation before we resort to the point of we're starting to take things away from them. Let's see how this mom handles a trip to the grocery store with her children.
Okay, girls, we have to get some groceries. Now, when we're in the grocery store, I need you to stay with me.
Right away, this mom is reminding her girls about the rules.
Isabel, maybe you could hold a list. And Scarlett, could you remind me to get some apples? We need some apples for the house. Okay.
So she set the context for them really nicely in a very positive way before it actually becomes a problem. And the other thing that I love about what she's doing is they're actively involved in the grocery shopping. So the older child is actually carrying the list, and she's using her reading skills to read what's on the list.
Want to help me pick out some apples? Let's get 5. We'll get 1 for everybody, okay? Got some apples.
She uses just basic things like buying apples so that the girls actually have to count how many apples are going into the bag.
I'll put them in the baggie. We're gonna eat the apples at home, okay? I'll put them down here. We'll get some apples at home, okay? What's next? How about bananas? Yeah? Okay, so Isabel, you can pick out 1 bunch. That's a good one there. You wanna pick a little one out, Scarlett? Okay, what's next? Carrots. Does anybody see any carrots?
The other thing I really love with what she's doing, she's engaging the kids in the grocery shopping, and it's not superficial. Like, she's giving them real tasks to do. So they come into the vegetable area, oh, we need carrots. Who can find the carrots? And the girls feel genuinely acknowledged and that they're contributing to the grocery shopping. This is really important for kids. This is what helps kids to have a sense of family and a sense of belonging. They're part of doing this important task of grocery shopping.
Gobble, gobble. I see the turkey, yeah. See the turkeys? And some sunflowers over there? Here you go. Do you want your snack, honey? You don't want a snack? What would you like?
So freaked out.
Would you like a book? Do you want to hold the broccoli? Yeah? Okay. You could hold it. Okay, that's your job.
Grocery shopping can be challenging with one kid, and this mom's got 3 kids with her today. And one of them is the little one. It looks like he's a toddler. And I love when he starts to get cranky. She came prepared. She had books for him. She had snacks for him. But ultimately, he wants to feel like he's part of the grocery trip. And what really makes him happy is holding the broccoli. And as you can see, the family goes by a candy section. Very tempting area for kids. But not one of the kids is heading in that direction or even asking mom, if they can stop and get something. And because they're so engaged in all of this, the reality is it's not on the list, and the girls are paying attention to what's on that grocery list.
Do you want to see the fish? Okay, you've been a good boy. We will go see the fishies. Where are you, fish? Oh, and there's lobsters too. Can you move down a little bit, Isabel, so Ronan can see?
Okay. Is that guy tackling them?
No, they've got those elastics on their claws, so they can't tackle people.
That was their eyes.
And this is really nice. She's built in some entertainment. I'm sure she probably didn't even anticipate it, but she's paying attention to the environment. She's seeing something the kids will really enjoy, and she's taking a few minutes. So nobody's feeling rushed again through this trip to the grocery store. Again, really, really important for kids to feel like, they're with her, they're helping her, and it's happening at a reasonable pace. They're less likely to misbehave.
Bye, lobsters.
For some of us, the discipline or methods that we're using with our own children come from how we were raised. Discipline may have been doled out with physical force, physical punishment, shaming on a regular basis in the house that you grew up in. And what we know from research today is that it's not the most effective way to change behavior. At the age of 4 and 5, children are really beginning to define how they interact with the world around them. And when we use physical force or punishment, we may be stopping something in the immediate moment, but we're really not influencing in a positive way how that child interacts with other people and other experiences. We're not giving that child the opportunity to learn about how his behavior might be affecting the other people in that setting. We're also not giving that child an opportunity, and they have this ability now, to problem solve about what else could I have done instead of doing this. That doesn't happen when we engage in physical force. And finally, what we tell children when we do this is that this is the best way to deal with people when they don't listen to you, to use physical force. And I really don't think that's what people intend to be doing with their children. But ultimately, if it's what we're using every day, that is what begins to happen. When your child is 4 or 5 years old, they are really just actively learning about the world. They're able to move around more confidently now, and we want to build that confidence. We want to support it. So giving them exposure to different kinds of experiences, doing it with them, taking them places, even if it's just the park, but you being there means that it's a very different experience for your 4 or 5-year-old, because now you can have lots of different conversations about what's going on. And, make sure that your child knows that you actually are interested in hearing how they're seeing the world and what their questions are. I'd be very concerned if I had a 4 or 5-year-old who had no questions at all. And so you can actually support that. You can model it, asking questions yourself about what's going on, and you can encourage it within your child. And really, don't be dismissive about their thoughts and their reactions to various situations, but be acknowledging and respectful and sincere in wanting to know.
When children start school, they are eager to learn. Encourage them to learn about the things they're interested in and discover new interests. Explain how things work. Explain the reasons for limits. Involve them in developing family agreements. Help them see the impact of their actions on others. This is how they develop empathy and respect for others. Treat them the way you want them to treat others. With your 4 or 5-year-old, remember to take the time to answer your child's questions. Help your child understand the impact of their actions on others. Explain the reasons for rules. Play imagination games and talk about the feelings of the characters. Read books and explain the moral of the stories. Help your child make links between stories and real life.